Hello everyone. After I made my Auro 3D upmixing video, I had quite a few questions pop up, and I thought I'll just make a follow-up video that answers some of those questions. So in this video, my aim is to go through basic settings on Denon of how to create a layout that will work both for Dolby and Auro 3D, because you can use them both. Then I'll cover the settings itself for Auro 3D and what kind of options you can use to get the best sort of things the way that you would want them to have. I'll also show you where to get the Atmos demos as well, and then cover basic VLC settings of how to pass through the basic data from the demos so you get full Dolby being passed to your receiver as well and is decoded properly as it should on the receiver. So as you've seen before, I have two heights at the front, and I also have two heights at the rear as well, the way they're being set up now. And this layout that I'm using here works both for Auro 3D and Dolby Atmos. These are currently at the front at a 30 degree elevation in height. The ones at the rear are not equal in the sides, but because one's closer, one's further. So this one here is at 28 and this one here is at 32, but they're still within spec. They're currently aimed to main listening position overall, but not at the ear height. The overall tweeters, are angled at a way that your ears would be just above the seat. And I found this gives by far the best effect because the sound does feel like it's overhead compared to just kind of coming at you at the same level. So what I'll do, I'll put the camera on a tripod and then show the basic settings and how those can be done as well. Also in the video, I'll attach a PDF file that has a brilliant guide showing how you can do a nice unified layout between the two. The first thing that I'll be covering is the joint layout to allow Auro 3D and Dolby Atmos to work within the same speaker setup. So press setup on your Marantz or then receiver. From there on, you want to go into speakers, manual setup, and amp assign. With my setup, I just chose an 11.1 because I wanted to have the pre-outs for my front channels to be, this just allows me to turn off the amps on my specific receiver. The important option for you is once you have the heights, to say you want to have 4 heights, and then you want to show, to pick front height and rear height. Even though my heights at the back are not rears, they're essentially surround heights. If you pick the surround rear height, what this will do is essentially turn off Dolby Atmos at the back. It will not work. So it will work fine for Auro 3D, but it won't work for Dolby. If you pick front height and rear height, as seen on the screen now, this will allow both Dolby Atmos and Auro 3D to work within one single setup. So this is by far the best configuration. It works really well, and this is what I recommend to use as well if you want both working on a single receiver, which is the great option to go for. The second part that I wanted to cover is the actual settings to have configuration changes on your Auro 3D, because Auro 3D compared to Atmos and DTS-X can actually be adjusted. So when I go back in the menu, when I go to audio, then click on surround parameter, and here you will see the options that you are given with Auro 3D. I don't use Cinema EQ, and from there on you can do is this. So pick the preset. There are multiple presets to pick from. The best one I found is movie, and then you have the automatic 3D strength. It goes from 1 to 16, 16 being really extreme and 1 being almost no upmixing at all whatsoever. I found that 12 works by far the best across the whole spectrum. So in games, movies, just normal YouTube watching, TV shows. So in my part, just using 12 and movie setup seems to work without the best. I haven't played yet with low frequency effects, but one thing that I have found is that if you turn on Auro 3D upmixing, it slightly boosts the bass. Not something that it becomes overwhelming or not sort of nice to hear, but it does boost the bass a bit, but overall it seems to be pretty good. So on that point, that seems quite fine. The next thing that people have asked in the comments was where did I get the demos from? So I got the demos from, I just opened the website now, from the digitaltheatre.com/Dolby trailers. So if you go to this site, scroll down, it had all of the trailers which I've featured in my previous video. You can download those and run them. Moving on from this point onwards as well, the other question was, how do I get VLC to pass through audio properly and not just use PCM? First things first, you need to download VLC version 3 and above. So the pass-through works properly only on versions 3 and upwards. Once you have VLC open, you want to go into Tools, Preferences, click on the Audio tab, and once in the audio, you will see this option here, HDMI SPDIF audio pass-through. From there, click Enabled, click Save, and then this should do it. So if I run this demo now, and I go into Info, you will see that. So first of all, it'll take a moment to read through. So I'll run this again. And there we go, Dolby Audio True HD. So it will pass the audio that essentially has been encoded, and I'm currently upmixing it to Auro 3D as it is there. But there we go, that's pretty much it on this video. Thank you for watching.